Hello traders, welcome back to another episode of DestroFx. Have you ever wondered why in Forex you never trade one currency alone? Why it's always USGB PJPY but never just the dollar? In today's episode I'll show you the real reason, and it will completely change how you see the market. In this episode, we'll cover what is a currency pair, understand the basics and why currency pairs are the foundation of Forex trading. Structure of a currency pair. Buying versus selling a currency pair. Types and characteristics of each type of currency pairs. By the end of this video, you'll know how to read, trade, and choose currency pairs like a pro. Stay tuned till the end and don't forget to subscribe. See you after the intro. What actually is a currency pair? In Forex, every trade is a comparison between two currencies. That's why it's called a currency pair. Think of it like a scale. When one side goes up, the other side automatically goes down. That's how Forex works. Let's talk about the structure of a currency pair. We'll use euros as an example. Every currency pair has two parts. The first currency is called the base currency. The second currency is called the quote currency. The base currency always represents one unit. The quote currency tells you how much is needed to buy 1 unit of the base currency. Here's an easy rule to remember. The price always tells you how much of the quote currency is needed for 1 unit of the base currency. This is the part that confuses most of the trader. Imagine you're at a fast food place. A burger costs $5. You hand over $5 and get 1 burger. So what just happened? You didn't measure the value of the dollar by itself. You measured it against something else, the burger? So the pair was actually. If tomorrow that same burger costs $7, it's not that the burger magically changed, it's that the dollar became weaker relative to the burger. Same logic as currencies. So let's take a simple example. If your US dollar is 1.1000, that simply means 1 euro is worth 1.10 US dollars. In other words, it costs $1.10 to buy 1 euro. This is where a lot of beginners get confused, so let's slow it down. In Forex, you're always trading two currencies at the same time. If you buy your USD, you believe the euro will get stronger. The US dollar will get weaker. What you're actually doing, buying euro, selling US dollars. If you sell your USD, you believe the euro will get weaker. The US dollar will get stronger. What you're actually doing, you're selling the euro. At the same time you're buying the US dollar. This is how Forex works. Every trade involves buying one currency and selling another at the same time. Now, let's look at the types of currency pairs. The first, we have major currency pairs. These are pairs from the world's biggest and most stable economies, and they always include the US dollar. Example of these pairs, we have the euro versus the US dollar, British pound versus the US dollar versus Japanese yen, US dollar versus Canadian dollar. These pairs normally have highest liquidity, lowest spreads, more stable price movement. The second we have cross or minor pairs. Minor pairs normally don't include the US dollar, but they still involve the major global currencies. A few examples are euro versus British pound, euro versus Japanese yen, British pound versus Japanese yen. These pairs have moderate liquidity, wider spreads than major pairs, often move well during overlapping sessions. Lastly, we have the exotic pairs. These pairs include one major currency and one currency from the developing or small economy. Example of this exotic pairs, we have United States dollar versus the Turkish lira, US dollar versus South African rand, US dollar versus Mexican peso. These pairs have low liquidity, very wide spreads, also strongly affected by political risk and local news. Exotic pairs are best for experienced traders. Every currency pair is different. Start smart, manage risk, and trade with purpose. In the next episode, we'll look at the best currency pairs to trade and the ones you should avoid. Thanks for watching and don't forget to subscribe, share, and leave a comment below. See you soon.